can you give a quick introduction to your name and what your name means, Bernd Schmid means?
Okay. Schmid. This is what in English is blacksmith. The one who heats metal, uses his hammer and other tools to form this metal into something hopefully useful and hopefully peaceful, not for weapons. So it's a tradition of craftsmen. My father has been a carpenter and my mother, how do you call that? A tailor. And both run businesses. And my first name, Bernhard, means strong like a bear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And somehow, these names fit to my lifestyle because I was lucky enough in over 40 years of being working as a professional. I have only 2 days been sick. And so one of the requirements to successful professionals is on the one hand to be sensible and on the other hand not to be too sensible. And maybe I was lucky somehow to have a good combination so that I had 40 years of developmental time as a professional without any severe disturbance.
So, you did something for yourself which keeps you active and not sick and keep you healthy? Is there some practices you make?
Nothing specific. I always did some sports. I did not overdo with drinking, alcohol and eating. I gave up smoking when I was 32 or so.
Okay.
And I'm sleeping a lot. I love sleeping because I believe in being renewed when giving up control.
This is a very significant sentence, being renewed when you give up control. Thank you, because this is good information.
Yeah, and the other thing is I'm married. My wife and me are together over 50 years. And we had a family life and we built up houses, we did real things, and we needed always to understand how ideas have to be concrete and operational. And that not only having ideas and writing, I wrote a lot, but somehow always in the mixture of doing something really in real life, connected with others, and stepping back from time to time and thinking about what is this all about, and then writing down what I learned from it.
And 2 times you mentioned about my wife and I doing real things, and I did real things. So there is an emphasis on the real things. What do you mean by that, Bernd?
Yeah, I'm somebody who develops conceptions and loves ideas, and ideas tend to enlarge themselves into dimensions where they are disconnected to everyday real life. And somehow I always felt obliged to keep this connection. And this led to concepts that are simple, also not superficial. You can use them on a superficial first level to be very easy and very early able to do something, but at the same time, they have some depth in it. And over time and over using them in everyday life, you understand the many, many differentiations that are in it, because concepts are always schemata, and schemata are not life. And I always was an opponent to the tendency of many of my colleagues to think within this schemata and to cut life to the size of these schemata instead of giving up schemata or enlarging schemata to have a better chance to meet life, still knowing that life is always more differentiated and more in-depth than your concepts can ever be.
This is very interesting, because you also told me that models are frameworks to organize perceptions, but not reality by themselves.
Right.
So when because this was one of the very significant learning I got early in my own conceptualization ideas.
Yeah. So very basic ideas of constructivism was the sentence, the map is not the territory. And you always have to look what the territory really is. And the one who drives a car within a territory needs to have different maps than another one who needs to find water or oil or care for the nature. They all need different maps, but the territory is always the same. But it's so whole and so complex that you never can frame them within a few or simple concepts. And still, few and simple concepts are useful to explore.
It's very interesting, like having a map and then trying to search for oil may not be suitable. So it's like when you say many of the professionals develop models and they try to use the model for everything, and then they get misled because of the model itself now. So the ability to give up the model and see the reality for what it is, and then understand it. And by that understanding, some of the models get developed, which can be used by other professionals. And that is what you say, sometimes it's very simple, at the same time it's deeper and relevant to the reality. And if necessary, you give up on that if it doesn't match or expand that schema.
Yeah, and for that you need to develop a meta stance that you can look not only through the classes of your concepts, but also see, these are classes. And if I do not see what seems too important to understand, then I need to change classes. Or develop better classes, or even accept that there are some influences that cannot be seen by our usual classes, and still they are there.
That's beautiful. In a short span of time, you have explained a lot about how do you make sense of reality itself. So thank you for that, Bernd.